divide up property in Texas, what we look at is what's community property and what is separate property.
In Texas, when you're married and you're going to get divorced, all of the things that either one of you own are presumed to be community property.
So separate property is property that you own before marriage, property that was gifted to you, property that you inherited, or for personal injury settlements that have to do with pain and suffering.
You also have to be able to keep a clear track of what was inherited or what you owned before, which can become real tricky, especially if you've been in a real long marriage and most people don't keep 30 years of financial record.
If property is proved to be separate property, a judge cannot divide it. The judge must award the separate property to the spouse that proves that it is his or her separate property.
Some things are easy. When I bought my house, if I bought my house before marriage, the deed's going to show when I bought it. Other things, how much money is in a brokerage account when I claim part of it separate, that's probably going to involve retaining an expert again, a forensic CPA, to help me trace that.
I tell my clients it's oftentimes very important, if not absolutely necessary, to have an expert trace separate property. We follow separate property throughout accounts, throughout assets, to show where the separate property went and where it remains when the judge divides the estate. To prove separate property in the state of Texas, a litigant has to show by what we call clear and convincing evidence that the property is his or her separate property. Now what that means is, normally in a courtroom you have to prove something by a preponderance of evidence. A preponderance of evidence is more likely than not. In a criminal case, to have a conviction, you have to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. Clear and convincing is somewhere between those two standards.
I've seen some really complex calculations to determine what's separate or community property, but without that, you can't protect your separate property.